Hello, welcome to the Brazilian Magic and Sorcery channel. When we think about the energetic organization that makes up the body and soul, or the souls, we need to understand how the body works, which is where energy manifests itself in matter, to understand the subtle action of ethereal energies that are hidden before materialization. From this point we can understand the actions of spiritual entities, and their function and work towards us. What I will talk about here is not part of any theology, but a personal analysis of the metaphysics of Umbanda. First we need to understand the concepts, heaven and earth, which we can call by the Bantu language words, Zulu and Toto. Heaven refers to pure, or abstract, spiritual energy, and the spiritual influence of energies that affect everyone without distinction refers to an expansive energy to contain. Thus, this energy descends affecting all beings, but the effects are personal to each one, and its centripetal movement, affecting us from the outside to the inside. It is associated with right-wing entities, which means it is universal. These beings organize chaos. Earth energy, in turn, is energy directed towards matter, and the material essence of things. It affects beings individually, so its influence is relative according to the being that is affected. It is an energy contained to expand, which rises through each individual being, according to the possibilities of the same. Its movement is centrifugal, affecting us from the inside out, and it is associated with left-wing entities, which means it is personal. These beings produce chaos to organize. Every start of movement is a production of energy that needs to be directed. All movement manipulation is a containment of energy to give focus, and this is right and left. The first is concerned with the whole, the second with the person. There is no good and evil here. There are only specifics. The right values charity, the organization of external chaos, and the orientation of the person towards the whole world in universal values. The left values personal will, the organization of internal chaos, and the person's direction towards themselves. The right is the water that washes from the outside to the inside, and spreads like a river for everyone to drink its waters. The left is the fire that warms from the inside out, and the home fireplaces that warm an individual in personal values. However, it is not correct to say that no entity belongs to only one of the two sides, although it is doctrinally stated that there are very clear divisions between the two. In practice this does not happen clearly, which gives us to understand that there is a prevalence of interests in the activities of entities, but not a rule that obliges these entities to act only in one way or another. Now there is a point that must be taken into consideration, and that is gravity. The energy of the earth attracts to the earth, and the energy of the sky descends to the earth, but does not attract back, like a ray of sunlight that touches the earth, but continues to go to planets that are further away beyond the earth. White light expands from itself, it does not react, which makes the path towards it much more difficult than the path away from it. And let's observe that this is circular. So both paths end up having their similarities. On the way to darkness, earthly impulses attract to the earth. Therefore, selfishness, which is the overvaluation of the earthly will, is the path that leads away from the light, until it disintegrates into shadow, like the ray of light that is absorbed by a black hole. On the path to the light, universal concerns make a person seek the sky, and on this path there is the annulment of one's own will in favor of doing what is right. And this is a path of a lot of voluntary suffering in pursuit of a goal, until the person is absorbed by the light, equivalent to traveling to the sun, and, when burned, your matter becomes part of it. It is important to remember that these energies are not in conflict with each other. We are the ones who see this as conflict, because we are in conflict when analyzing them, but they are natural, and as the earth moves around the sun to have days and nights, we have a course in existence in which we have to move. Sometimes thinking about ourselves and sometimes thinking about others. But are there only these two paths that, in any case, result in the annulment of the I? The answer is no. There is a path that does not result in the annulment of the self. But this is a path that doesn't go up or down. It only goes in the middle. And this path does not go forward, but backwards. It is the path to our source, that is, to the origin. And it is in the past and not in the future. This is the path of ancestry. Knowing where we came from to know where we should go. If we only think about our present mind, and we want to move forward from now, we will follow our current thoughts, and they vary according to our emotions, and according to the influences we accept, whether emotional or intellectual. linked, including family, place and time in which we are living Earth, and our spiritual aspirations, regarding ourselves and our most abstract feelings heaven. So here the question, where do we come from, is much more important than where are we going. Technically, we are in the middle of a journey, in an unknown location, carrying a bag of heavy tools, which most of the time we don't know how to use. But we chose to come here and bring these tools, but for some reason, rules of the game perhaps, we choose to forget why we came and what did we bring this for. And here comes the role of a religion, that is, a system of interpretation, to recognize and understand the hidden rules beyond matter, and which we must analyze based on a sum of personal sensations and values and logic and universal values. In the case of Brazilian religions, there is contact with entities. And what are they? Many are people who have already walked this path. Others are beings who have never traveled, but who live with us and can help us within their areas of activity and understanding. But what are entities in fact? They are different types of souls and spiritual beings, and they may or may not like us. It's important to highlight this detail. There are those who like it and those who don't, and that's okay. We are like that too. Now, different types of souls. We ourselves carry different souls in our bodies, and this is something that confuses many. Our objective consciousness is a level of existence, but it is not our soul itself. At this level, we are not the things that happen, but rather, we are the place where things happen. Now let's think about it. The influence of heaven provides us with an essence concerned with the whole. We can call this the soul or soul level concerned with the universal. It contains universal feelings, concerns about the whole and everyone, aspirations for a better world and actions to make this happen. At the earth level, there is an essence concerned with the personal. It is the level of the instinctive soul, which seeks to reproduce its own material existence, matter-generating matter, the search for maintenance and survival of material life, which at certain levels goes beyond what is necessary, creating the needs of selfishness. That in origin was just a concern for the basics, food, a place to live in peace, and protection from external dangers, and extrapolated are not eating what you need, but what you want even if it makes you sick, having a property that brings more comfort than you have time to enjoy it, and no more than just protect yourself, but also attack. These are self-destructive behaviors, because too much earth takes you back to the ground quickly. It is our earthly souls that desire to return to earth and lead us to this, while an excess of heaven often produces a long life, but full of deprivations and material needs. It is the soul of heaven wanting to return to heaven, but how does it provide vitality? It is easier for a person to live a long but unbalanced life, and there are conflicts of internal souls, such as when sudden and even violent attitudes. They lead to the destruction of oneself or others, because you only donate what you have. So only those who already live in an internal conflict generate conflict. If it is the earth that is winning, the person does harm to themselves. If it is the sky, the person harms someone else. Principle of the personal and universal. And it is to help us in these processes that we call on those who have already gone through them to help us, or by those who dominate the results that actions can generate, even if they have not yet passed. And here come those who govern the part of heaven in man, in an older vision. Caboclos hybrids always wear a headdress with many feathers, representing the crown, or komutu. They are linked to the connection with the whole. The natives live in harmony with the environment. They often have difficulty speaking, and it's not just because of the language, but because they represent a process that is difficult to express. These are high vibration energies that are abstract to us, and its expressions are simple, even though the concepts are complex, showing that some of the great secrets of the universe are simple rules. For those who use chakras, they change the frequency of the crown chakra in us. That is why they also govern health, as they control the entry of celestial energy into the body. The black elders, always with canes and bowed, represent the acquisition of wisdom, the strength of resilience. It was not easy for an African to grow old in colonial Brazil. Many died before that. They also talk about spiritual resistance, as they adapted their cults to keep them alive. Adaptation and resilience as a key to acquiring wisdom is very strong with these entities. There is the historical issue that the term Black Elder was attributed to Black Elders who taught newly arrived Africans the Christian religion, because there was a law that forced conversion within 3 months of landing, and this occurred at certain periods. But this does not mean that they always agreed or disagreed. They just did what had to be done for the good of their community, because the same elders who taught Christianity kept their spells with them, and they adapted them. Few know the power that a Catholic rosary has in the hand of a black elder. They can affect the third eye, that is, the perception of what is invisible. And this doesn't necessarily mean just other dimensions, but also intentions, emotions. It is very common in temples for a person to come close to a black elder and start crying, without the elder having said anything, because they read the soul and teach you how to direct yourself. So perception and the acquisition of wisdom from the perceived is very clear in this group of entities. Children are entities linked to expression and communication, verbal or not. They are spiritual beings that for some lived, for others they are enchanted, but that always manifest themselves as children. They like to eat sweets and drink, speak sincerely, speak the truth. They laugh, they play. They don't sit still for almost a minute. They are always acting, representing this force of expression, linked to the throat chakra. They help people to be more pure, to remove the layers we create about ourselves, expressing what you really think and feel, even if it sounds irresponsible. But it is true. And at this level the duality of the way of acting begins, and not just receiving energy, but emanating. For many, including me, they are the strongest entities in Umbanda. And because they have such strength, their rituals usually have at least one black elder to help raise awareness and anchor the energy emanated by these pure beings. The candles of these beings are usually white or white and green for hybrids, representing the anchoring of light in the body's health, or anchoring the energy of the sky in the bioenergetic pattern. Green is the sum of yellow, energy linked to the dead, and blue, pre-material universal energy. In other words, the help of ancestors to guide future actions in life. But it's not just these candles. Many follow the colors of their plumes. Although I didn't post the colors on the channel, but in the video about the hybrids you can see that each people I mentioned has different colors in their plumes. Those colors refer to the activity of those spirits. So a hybrid that uses white and green candles will act more as a mentor, while, if you wear white, green and red, you will have a more protective temperament. Those who wear feathers and sails of a single color tend to be direct, representatives of certain patterns. They have the term feather in their names. For example, white feather, they are generally chiefs, but they can be representatives of a vibration for a temporal purpose. Black elder candles are often white top half and black bottom half, representing the anchoring of heaven's energy into matter itself. That is why it is said that they are entities that can interfere with free will and in the conditions of human life directly. If you worship a black elder and try to do something he doesn't agree with, he can literally stop you from doing it, not just by advising, but also changing the circumstances of the event. That's why they say Son of Pemba has no will. Pemba is a reference to Mpemba, the world of ancestors. That's why they also have a lot of power over the material plane, acting from top to bottom, including to bring justice, healing, get a job, change luck. Many guardians are also black elders, and vice versa. And this is not a personal opinion. If we take the old subscription records, or even knowing how to read symbolic signatures, we will see this. What usually differentiates them is the adoption of language with Catholic terms. Many guardians were Bantu priests, so if they manifest in the line of black elders, it will be along lines less influenced by Catholicism, as in the people of Kengulk elders of justice, people of Benguela elders of the forests, or people of Congo very linked to the guardians. They can also use different candle colors. The people of Kengulk, for example, can use brown candles representing the rock, a symbol of justice, or the red of fire. People of Benguela can use red and green candles, representing the transformation of bioenergy into vital energy, acting on health both from the outside in and from the inside out. Children often use candles with a pink top half and a light blue bottom half. Let's think here of two basic movements, one directed, or as a particle, which would be red, expansive and furious. Another fluidic wave-like movement that would be blue, expansive, but smooth. Red is linked to vital energy, fire, will. Blue is linked to pre-material energy, water, to the subconscious, feelings. These two energetic movements are very powerful, and when in high vibration. In other words, proximity to white energy. They are influenced by it and become clear, turning pink and light blue. However, if we move to the level of matter, blue becomes black, as it has gone from pre-material to material, while the color pink turns blood red. So there is no longer acting on something that will occur in the future that will mature, but about something that is already happening in the present. So it requires immediate action. That's it for now. In the next videos I will talk about the other entities. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Hail the King 7 Crossroads of the Lyra. And may my guardian bless you all.